I'm curious though if the different departments, if they have the option of handing out those student evaluations at the beginning of class, or is that for me, I think it's usually been at the beginning of class before I've done a full lecture, but I'm curious if that's if there's a variation on that.
I that's a Pam, are you unmuting yourself? I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I was going to say in our department, we usually, first of all, we advise the instructor not to have us come on a day when when they are returning a paper or a test, because that can influence how a student feels in a negative way. And then we usually let them lecture and get that part done. And then because our classes are an hour and 25 minutes, so we watch for about an hour, and the last 25, the students fill out the forms and then they can leave when they're done. Not that we encourage them to, most of them really put in their due diligence. They take it pretty seriously, which I always find amazing. And then the instructor doesn't have to come back in and get the class started again. So that's how we do it in our department.
Right, right. So it sounds like there's a little bit of variation, which thank you, Pam. And I'm really happy that we were able to have a representative from STEM, from communication, and from history today, so that we kind of get a broad range. And I see I do have a question. Bahar, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bahar, and this is my first semester teaching, and I'm being evaluated next week in the business education department. So one thing that I do usually, like once in a while in the activity that I do in the class, is having this a discussion in the class discussion, and I have all like students talk about it. They give up their ideas. And I always like mention that, okay, well, this is not a right or wrong. It's just like giving your perspective about it. So I can kind of encourage them. So here is a question that I have. Do you think it is a good idea to also involve and engage the observer in the class?
I would
say no.
I would say
Okay.
I would not do that. You may have an observer who totally likes it, but they are observers, and the interactive. I mean, maybe some will even interact, but some instructors may not like that also. So I think as unobtrusive as possible. And the last thing you want to do is make them uncomfortable. You ask them a question that they aren't ready to respond to, or talk with students about something they aren't ready to do, and it can just backfire. So I would caution against that.
I also would say the same. And for two reasons. One, some will love it and they'll volunteer. I don't engage in the activity, but sometimes something's funny and I'll throw out little clips. I'll engage, but it's my choice when I'm free to. But others will not want to do that. They really just kind of want to be observed. So I would say no. The other one is a practical reason. A lot of times they're filling out the form at the same time. I'm writing comments and checking things. I'm looking at your syllabus. And so I need to get that done then, ideally as much as possible. So that way I can fill out the form. So I would say no, let them do their observation and let them choose to engage if that's their personality.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for such a wonderful question. I want to be mindful of everybody's time, but these were wonderful tips on active learning and building rapport with students and all things that will help us, as Jamal said, achieve our goals of being better teachers so that we can better serve our students. So thank you again to our faculty speakers and for everybody that joined today. I will hang around if you want to, if there are other questions you'd like to ask, but I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. So thank you all so much.